There's going to be homes hitting the market, foreclosures are coming, and there's going to be a lot of properties in distress. This could be the opportunity that you've been waiting for. Perhaps you've been trying to get into the real estate market. You've been thinking to yourself, I need to buy a property. I need to buy a rental property or something that I can move into or something that I'm trying to house hack. Maybe it's an Airbnb. It could be any of these properties, but you just haven't found the right deal or felt like you've had the right opportunity to actually make that happen. Well, like I said, this could be what you've been waiting for. As they say, the best time to do something was yesterday, and the next best time to do something is today. I know that I've thought to myself a lot of times, I've purchased a couple of properties and I've thought to myself, I wish I would have bought something a couple of years ago. I wish I would have bought more property in 2015 or more properties in 2016 or 17 or 18 or even just last year, and I would have had those on hand for the current market that we're sitting in. And I know that I'll probably be saying that to myself in 5 years or 10 years, saying, man, I wish I would have bought more homes or tried to buy more real estate in the year 2020 when interest rates were so extremely low and before prices continued to creep up. So what I want to cover in this video here today is the opportunity that is just around the corner. If you've been looking at real estate, you might have noticed that a lot of big major cities that are known for being expensive, such as San Francisco or New York, are actually seeing declines in the price of rent and the prices of the properties that are selling. However, in a lot of other cities, we're seeing prices continue to increase. For instance, a lot of cities in Florida, where I'm at, in Salt Lake City, or let's even say Austin, Texas, you're seeing prices increase pretty rapidly, and it's causing a lot of growth in those areas. Everybody always says the fortunes are made in the down market, but that's not to say that there's still not opportunities in this market. What I'm talking about here in this video is there's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of people who come into distress. There's going to be, eviction bans that end. There's going to be forbearance that ends. There's unemployment that's happening. All of these people who are in that situation, it's extremely unfortunate, but they may end up in a position where they need to sell their home, and this could be the opportunity for you to swing in and pick it up at a great deal. And I don't want to sound insensitive to the people who are losing their homes, because this is a very sensitive topic and I feel for those people. And I want to rather be empathetic to them and say, this could be a win-win for you as an investor and also for them to be able to get out of their house. Perhaps they end up in a tight spot, and you being able to help them by purchasing their home could help them get out of that and will actually, take a weight off of their shoulders. So although in the grand scheme it is a little bit unfortunate, you're actually doing them a favor and helping them get out of that property, potentially anyway, and being able to get a good investment for yourself. So this is something I think you should really consider if you're looking to invest in real estate. I'm going to give you 7 different things that you can do to take advantage of any of these opportunities that may be coming your way here in the next 6 to 12 months. And the one thing I want to preface this with is that how people always say the fortunes are made in the down market? Well, this is an exact instance of that. If you're able to help somebody who's in distress, this is where the biggest profits are made. So if you're looking to get into real estate, this is what you want to do. Let's start off with number 1. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get familiar with your market. You need to know what prices are currently at for what cities you're looking in. You need to know what the rent prices are. You need to know it like the back of your hand. What does a 2-bedroom rent for in that area? What does a 3-bedroom rent for? What does a 4-bedroom rent for? Does it rent for more or less if it's a duplex? You need to know these things. You need to be familiar with your market, because when these deals come up, they're going to go quick and you need to be able to make a quick decision. You also need to know what taxes and insurance are going to be in this area so that you can run those numbers and make sure you're able to cash flow on these properties if you decide to purchase them. For the second item on our list, you need to get familiar with how creative financing works in real estate. A lot of these properties are going to be in distress. A lot of them will have very low equity, and the owner might be in a tight situation where they may not be able to sell because of the closing costs associated with that. You've got title fees, you've got selling fees such as commissions or insurance, you've got payoff amounts. There's a lot of different things that can make the situation very tight for the owner of the home. Perhaps they just moved in, now they've lost their job and they need to get out, but because of all the fees that come along with buying and selling real estate, they might not be able to do so. So you want to get familiar with creative financing, because this is where you can really help people, but also pick up that great deal. The different types of strategies that I'm talking about here, you've got lease options, you've got contract for deed, you've got wrap mortgages, you've got subject to existing mortgage, you've got all these different types of strategies that you need to know how to implement. When you go and talk to a seller of a particular home, you need to know how these different strategies work, because one may work for the seller, whereas another one might not work for them. I know tons of investors who have done these creative financing deals. I've even done a couple of them myself. and this is absolutely where the biggest profits can be made. Sometimes you can help a seller who can't get out of his home in a traditional sale, but it can still be a win-win for both sides. The third item on our list, you need to get connected with investors. A lot of times in your market, there's going to be different investors associations that you want to be a part of. You want to start talking to these investors because that's where you're going to find a lot of these deals. It's just impossible for you to talk to every single person out there who may be looking to sell their home or maybe in a distressed situation, right? But if you've got 10 investors who are your connections, maybe that investor just spent money on another deal and they can't take it down. They can't take down this new one that they just found. Perhaps they're going to give that to you and just say, hey, pay me $500, pay me $1,000, and I'll just give the the lead to you, and you can go out there and close it. Or maybe they'll just give you the deal after they've done all the work, right? So this is very common in the investors associations that you're going to be a part of. You want to get these connections made. You want to figure out where the money's at. You want to figure out who's doing deals, and just have these connections in your back pocket. It's always good to have them because you never know when that next person is going to bring you a deal that you need to have. The fourth recommendation that I can give you is that you need to start cold calling for sale by owner properties or even places that are for rent and hosted by the landlord. If it's hosted by the landlord, it's gonna be easier to get in touch with them and see if they might consider selling. A lot of times landlords, if they just had somebody move out, it might have been an eviction, it could have been something else. Maybe they just had a problem tenant and they would consider selling it instead. They're thinking, I don't want to go through this whole rental process again. I'd rather just sell the property and be done with it. I do talk to a lot of owners who end up in this situation where they try the rental game for a little bit and then realize, I'm not really cut out for being a landlord. I'd rather just sell the property and cash out. This is where you can find great deals, buy them under market, and not have a lot of the fees that are associated with that as well. It's also good to call on places that are for sale by owner, because if the owner is listed it themselves, there's a good chance they may think, well, I don't have enough equity in this property to actually sell it with a real estate agent. I can't afford to pay that fee there. So this could also be a gold mine for finding potential deals. A lot of times they're actually going to be emotionally attached to the property and they'll give you way more information than potentially maybe they should have, but you can get great opportunities this way because you can get in touch with the owner directly. This is basically like leads coming to you. You just need to make the call, start asking questions. The fifth recommendation I'm going to give you is you need to start storing some cash so you can be able to take down one of these deals. It is possible to do real estate with no money down, but if you've got money, it makes it so much easier. So you need to start storing cash. You need to start making connections, whether it's with mom, dad, brother, sister, friend, neighbor, it doesn't matter. Start finding out who's got some money, start trying to pool some money together, but basically just start storing cash so that you've got it on hand. A lot of times with these seller finance deals, the seller's going to say, hey, I'd love to sell to you, but I need a couple $1,000 to get moved out. Well, if you can put a deal together, you can give them that money so they can move on with their life and you can pick up the deal. So you want to have some cash on hand for when these opportunities come up. It's just going to make it so much easier. So do whatever you can to make that happen. The sixth item on our list that I want to talk about here today is that you're going to find a lot of these deals are on extremely low interest rates. This is where you're going to be able to pick up amazing deals. Right now, interest rates are at all-time lows. For a lot of people who are just getting into homes or who have refinanced recently, you're going to find interest rates in the high 2, low 3% range. This gives you a massive opportunity. If prices come down or if rents continue to go up, you're going to have very low payment amounts on these properties. The cool thing about this is that you're basically getting like free money. The pace of inflation is expected to be about 2%. At least that's the federal government's target rate is 2% per year. And so when your mortgage rate is only like high 2s or low 3s, it actually gets cheaper and cheaper to pay off that mortgage as time goes by. And it's not even you paying off the property. If you're holding it as a rental, this is where you can get massive benefit because the tenant is the one paying that off for you. So having the property financed is incredibly crucial, and locking in these low interest rates is going to make a world of difference as the market continues to appreciate over time. And the seventh item that I want to talk about is that you need to start right now. Get started on this process, start learning what you can, start storing money away, start talking to investors, start getting involved in the real estate community. You really need to just get the ice broken in order to get this process started. It's going to be much harder to jump in after the fact. Once everything starts hitting the fan, you want to be in the game already at that point because that's when the deals are going to start popping up. So get started now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Like I said at the beginning, the best time to start was yesterday. The next best time to start is today. Guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you liked this content, please consider sharing it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.